This is just a very short video to go in front of the actual video to let you know there are timestamps included down below in the description. This is a long video. I drank 3 cups of coffee during the course of it, so it's a long one. But there are timestamps so that you can watch a little bit of it and come back to it, or you can skip the parts that you're not interested in. I do a couple of different readings within this video. One personal reading for myself. I'm showing you a layout that I got from a new deck to me, and just showing you how that layout works. If you want to just get the card of the day message and then dip out, that's fine too. There are a couple of walkthroughs on a couple of different decks as well. So enjoy, and I will see you soon. Welcome to Coffee and Tarot with Mama T. My name is Teresa, and I am welcoming you and Spirit in for a card of the day reading and just a meander through some decks. Just want to keep this kind of low key. It'll probably be conversational and a little slower paced. Welcome to Saturday. I am glad the weekend's here, but I'm already sad it's almost over. How we live for the weekend. All right, well, let's look at some cards today and see what is on my desk. I have a few things. In my alphabetical journey through my tarot and oracle collections, we are going to be using the Oak, Ash, and Thorn for our tarot card of the day, and I absolutely love this deck, so I'm super excited to use that. We will be pairing that with the Medicine Heart Oracle from Alana Fairchild, and I have not worked with this deck enough to feel super comfortable with the meanings behind the cards and all of that. The main reason is because the guidebook is just so humongous. I think it's like 350 pages. These cards are just beautiful. I'll show them to you in a little while here. But yeah, this is the guidebook. It's 358 pages or something like that. And super, super fun. So, well, I don't know if fun is the right word, but anyway, it's a beautiful deck, and I am looking forward to really utilizing it in my practice. I plan on using it as one of my March decks, and we'll talk about that a little bit later too. And you can see on my desk I have some other cards that I wanted to kind of chat through and talk about as well. I will probably just do a quick flip through of the Dark Moon Oracle, which arrived a couple days early. I pre-ordered it, and I think today was its release date, but I got it a little bit early. And this is probably my favorite Yasmin Boland Oracle deck that I've got so far. And this one is, from my initial work with it in the last couple of days, seems like it's going to be a great deck for shadow work. So we'll talk about that more in a little bit too. This deck right here that I have on my desk is it's called the Feral Psychic deck, which this font style, the card art on the deck, it would normally not be something that I would be attracted to, but I'm glad I bought it. I saw it from somebody else was using it on their channel, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. I do watch a lot of TarotTube, and so sometimes things sort of bleed together, but this deck, this is what the card backs look like. And so it's got that shamanic, indigenous vibe and naturey vibe that I really like, rather than this raw kind of thing. I did. And it came with this card that has a few different card layout suggestions. This one in particular, the 4-card spread here, the cycle breaker one. Pattern you keep repeating, the origin or root of it, how it manifests in your life, and the key to breaking out of it. That spread, I have been using this with, and I've been just combining it with whatever tarot happens to be on my desk at the moment. And right now I still have the Hedgewitch and the Witch's Way Home oracles that I've been working with together this week, and have used this spread with these, and it has worked out pretty well. So I'll show you an example of that in a little bit here. The Witch's Way Home, I've had a chance to work with a little bit more, so let's look at that spread with these two decks here. Let's just do a sample reading, and this will be just a reading from myself. Let me call in spirit, and because I want this to be an accurate reading. Candles lit. Okay, all right, Spirit, please preside over this reading. I want to do a reading for myself for this spread here. Cycle breaker, the pattern I keep repeating, the origin or root of it, how it manifests in my life, and the key to breaking out of it. I'm going to start with tarot this time. I've been starting alternately with the tarot and alternately with the oracle, and it seems to change the kind of the feel of the reading depending on which one you go with. And I've been drawing one card for each position in the spread from both the tarot and the oracle, depending on the spread that I'm using. If I'm using a large spread, I might only choose 2 or 3 oracles. Yeah, let's start with the tarot. Okay, the pattern that I keep repeating. Get the 8 of Swords. Origin or the root of it. Six of Wands. How it manifests in my life. Nine of Pentacles. Interesting. The key to breaking out of it. Fool. Okay, now let's look at what the oracles add to it. Okay, Spirit, the pattern that I keep repeating, Can you clarify on this Eight of Swords? Free your mind. It's great. The origin or the root of it? Can you clarify the Six of Wands? See, this card, I hate this card. I was hoping one of these cards would come up so that I could show you my real thoughts on this deck. I don't, this does not vibe with me whatsoever. I do believe in other dimensional beings. I do believe in aliens. I do believe the universe is so big and so vast as to be beyond our comprehension, and we are not alone. But this does nothing for me in a reading. And so I have come to the determination this week that I'm pulling these cards out of my deck. As they come up, they're coming out, because it just breaks the whole flow of the reading for me. I don't know why they put those in there, because they don't vibe with the overall feeling of this deck at all. My opinion. Okay. Can I have a different clarifying card, Spirit? Or the origin or the root of this pattern that I keep repeating? I don't understand the Six of Wands here. Can you clarify that? Remember your gifts. Okay. And then on this one, how is this manifesting in my life? The Nine of Pentacles I see as a positive card. How is this Eight of Swords manifesting in a positive way like this? Nurture your community. And then the key to breaking out of this. And we have the Fool card. Can you clarify on this, please? Winter. These two do not vibe together with me. But let's have a look at it. Let's see what this has to say. Thanks for indulging me and just seeing how these cards actually work for me. You know, this may give you some idea of how they may work for you as well. Okay, so this I totally understand. The pattern that you keep repeating. The Eight of Swords. This is a self-imposed mental prison. I'm feeling like, actually, I'm going to bring this down. Self-imposed mental prison. I find myself, trapped in my own mind, ruminating over things, going over things over and over again, and keeping myself restricted and, tied up and bound. And this is a lifelong pattern with me, so I totally understand this and how this applies to me on a personal level. And then when I get this oracle card of Free Your Mind, 35, let's look at the guidebook on this one. I'm actually going to look at the guidebook on the Hedgewitch as well, just out of, let's just as an exercise, let's just see if there's anything interesting what the guidebook says about this Eight of Swords. I won't read the whole thing, I just want to see what it has to say. Because what's interesting, if you don't have the Hedgewitch Tarot, what's interesting about this guidebook is that it does give a keyword here, indecision, gives reversed keywords, freedom and perspective, one card answer on it, and then it talks about the border. Yeah. The border is the tail of the card and the details where it can be found in the world or worlds. Which works in two worlds, and so does this deck. The border is the beginning of the meaning of this card for you, just as with any border. There are two parts to it, the meaning and the esoteric lesson waiting for you to encounter. And so the Hedgewitch she's immobilized within this border. She's stuck in this bramble. It kind of describes where she's at. This is where our beginning understanding of the card. The idea of the lesson that is within this card. Should I choose to accept the lesson and act upon it is, making that decision to break free. Should I stay within this confusion, or should I go ahead and break free and move forward? Then the writing lesson of the card is based on the next level to the meaning. It's the actual acknowledgement that you must journey or ride into that meaning. The lesson is waiting for you, and all you must do is accept it and what you physically need to do for the outcome to become a reality. Riding is the term used for the activity of going to the other world or place or the high magic. It can be done through a form of meditation, trance, or literally transporting oneself into another world. So, and then the writing lesson of this card is to take a chance and go for it. Break free from this bramble of, mental rumination. And then the veil lesson of the card is the physical guide that you can experience. Each card has a unique practice, such as a spell, a charm, a prayer, or a meditation that can help you lift the veil and see your path as you venture through the hedge and ride the border. So turn to the power of the moon to help you with your indecisiveness. And then it gives an idea of how to use the moon's power. On a clear night or a full moon, go out and stand outside with your back to the moon. Make sure you can see its reflection in a mirror over your shoulder. Take several deep breaths and say into the mirror, "Lady, awaken now to me and reveal what only I can see. Moon power, show me all that lies before me so that I may plan ahead." And then look into the mirror and watch the images form in the moonlight. So I do, when I use the Hedgewitch tarot, because of those three different ideas of how to utilize the card, I do like to go to the guidebook on it. I won't on all of these cards here, just for expediency's sake. Let's look at the guidebook on the Witch's Way Home. Free your mind. Embrace your authentic self. This begins with clearing the mental clutter, clouds your inner voice. The mind is a powerful tool, but it can be overwhelmed by external influences, distractions, and doubts. Let this card remind you to slow down, quieten the noise, and turn inward. Journaling, meditation, or simply sitting in silence can help you to sift through the layers of distraction and begin to see yourself more clearly, your deeper desires, your true beliefs, and the essence of who you are. This journey of mental clarity isn't about perfection. It's about understanding your uniqueness and standing firmly in it. By embracing your authentic self, you align with your true essence and unlock the image that has always been within you. Remember, your power as a witch comes from within, and it's only when you connect with your true self that you can fully harness it. Your authentic self holds the key to your personal magic. And then the journal prompt for this card is, what thoughts, beliefs, or external influences are currently clouding your mind? Take a moment to reflect on how these distractions might be keeping you from fully connecting with your authentic self. What steps can you take to clear mental clutter and realign with your true essence? This card helps me to understand the context of this card. The next card in the deck, it didn't necessarily help me to understand this one, because this one I absolutely understood clearly. I know myself, and I know that this is an issue with me. This one, I was like, but this is good. it's good to take your moment in the spotlight. It's good to be acknowledged for your efforts. And I can understand now that part of the mental clutter, part of what's imprisoning me within my own mind, is this desire for acknowledgement and status. When I was a unit manager in my former life, my corporate career has been broken up into a couple of different companies. And at my former insurance carrier that I worked for, a very large insurance carrier, I was a unit manager, and on one hand, I really, really enjoyed that job, and on another hand, it was very, very challenging and difficult for me in many respects. And one of the things that I did during that time, as a personal development and as something that I guided the people that reported to me to do, was to take a test called the SCARF test. And it is a social, what is it called? Something along the lines of your social threats and rewards. And SCARF stands for status, clarity, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness. And I really thought when I initially took the test that autonomy was highest for me, and relatedness. I thought relatedness would be the highest for me, and it really wasn't. Autonomy wound up being very high. Status, to my shock, was I was very balanced. Out of the 5 things, it was really close, neck and neck. I had a very balanced need for all of these, which isn't necessarily good, because that means you are constantly feeling rewarded by all 5 of these things, but you're also feeling threatened by all 5 of these things. It's cool to be balanced, but if you're constantly under threat, that's not great. That results in this. But status wound up being the highest by just a couple of points. I was surprised by that. I felt like it made me seem shallow, but it's not about shallowness at all. It's just it is what it is. And one person being having status higher than fairness or clarity or whatever, it doesn't make somebody better or more relatable or more a better leader or anything like that. What makes you good at implementing this as a leader is knowing yourself and understanding yourself, and then also understanding the people that you're leading. And anyway, it is what it is. But I found out that status was a little bit higher for me than I initially perceived it to be. And so this desire for status, acknowledgement, recognition, that kind of thing. And when I feel threatened by it, that can send me right back here. And so my reading here today is telling me that the pattern I keep repeating is because of my desire for this. So this, and when I ask for clarity, how do we clarify this? I'm getting remember your gifts, and this, I'm not going to go to the guidebook on all of these cards. We'll be here all day if I do. But remember your gifts to acknowledge. And when we look at this card here, you can see that this card is depicted by a woman who is looking outward. She's not looking inward. She's not looking down and, navel gazing. She's not trapped in her own mind. She's looking around the world at her. She's looking at the beauty of the world. She looks curious. She looks open. She is holding a book and a pen. And, I'm a writer. And so this is telling me, remember who you are. When you are worried about this piece here, the status stuff, get out of that. Quit thinking internally and all of that. Look at the beauty of the world around you. Find curiosity in it. Let it transform you. It's depicted by all of these butterflies. Acknowledge your intuition and your ability to clue into the power of the cosmos. We've got the images of the sun and the moon here. We have a waterfall. These gifts are being poured out upon you in abundance. And then you have all of these little fireflies and stars that are around you, signifying your ability to clue into what's around you, clue into your own intuition, and clue into the emotions and thoughts and feelings of other people. You have the power of curiosity. You have the power to communicate and to write. And remember all of that instead of being wrapped up in a desire for something that comes from external sources. The gifts that you have come from the divine, they come from your ancestors, they come from the natural world around you, and they come from yourself. So then when we look here at how this manifests in your life, the Nine of Pentacles, this is another one of the cards that I don't really understand. How is this manifesting itself in my life? And I didn't understand that initially, but what I'm understanding now as I'm reading this as a story, from going from the tarot cards out to the oracles and then looking to the next step in the story, if I take this chapter of the story, it manifests in my life as independence and abundance, contentment, and creativity. Clarifying that in this card right here, she has her plants and her pets. She's got an abundance of growth around her, but where are her people? And the oracle card clarifies adding your community in will make this a complete picture. Then the key to breaking out of this thing is to have the mindset of a beginner, to be optimistic, willing to go after all of the exciting options that are available to me, and just to adopt that mindset of a beginner. I am open. I'm an open book. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to let the universe write a new chapter on the pages of my life. And I am eager and willing and excited and optimistic to go there. And then we have winter. And this, I want to read the guidebook on this to see how that might apply to this idea of the key to breaking out of this. This might be, I bet, let's look at the guidebook, but what I bet this is going to be telling me is that rest is part of it. That I am not, as I've made clear on this channel, I'm not good at resting and allowing myself time to hibernate, to rest, to retreat, and rejuvenate myself. I am constantly pushing myself to do more, and squeeze more juice out of the fruit of a day, and that eagerness to go out there and go for it is great, but I also need to remember to incorporate rest. So let me look at that and see. That's what I'm getting out of it, but let's have a look. Embrace stillness. What have you learned over the past year? What accomplishments and challenges have shaped you? This card encourages you to slow down, turn inward, embrace the peace that comes from introspection. Not rumination, but introspection. Use this time to assess where you are and where you want to go. Listen to your inner voice and trust the wisdom that emerges from within. For me, this is something that I need. It's not just a period of wintering or a withdrawal from any of my community on a, any kind of a lengthy basis. This is a daily urging. Let yourself winter every day. Find, approach the day with eagerness, optimism, willingness to learn, but then every single day, take that moment to winter, rest, and reflect. Get back into a kind of an evening practice of reflecting instead of just pushing the day to its outer limits. So that is that reading. And that is, just one of the ways that I've been working with these two decks together. And I have been, since I got this deck just arrived a few days ago, I've been utilizing this spread with this particular deck as well. And, let's see, I'll just show you a few cards to go along with this same reading here. Instead of the Witch's Way Home Oracle, what would I get for Oracle cards from this deck to round this out? Spirit, can we clarify these cards with this deck for the same spread that we just did? Okay, so the Eight of Swords is clarified by Blessed by Fire. Looking back, you can acknowledge every trial was an initiation. You're not cursed, you're blessed by fire. So these times where I feel locked in my mind and ruminating and worried and, frozen, I am actually being initiated into something new. And the Six of Wands, the origin or root of this whole scenario is the ancient roots. Your soul chose this lineage for a reason. You carry not just their pain, but the power to transmute it. This really clarifies this whole scenario for me, knowing my mom, and then who has passed away, and then how it manifests in your life by avoiding pain. You're sedating your soul with distractions and denial. And then the question here, the key to breaking out of it, I get centered calm. Reacting is easy, but choosing with wisdom takes grounded stillness. So, get centered and be still, which is exactly one of the messages that was from the Witch's Way Home Oracle, that wintering card. So, these oracles add a little bit of different flavor to the situation. And when you reverse the order of using the oracle first and then the tarot to clarify, that changes the dynamic of it too. But it's remarkable how often, choosing different cards and asking the same question, how often the same sort of message comes up. So that is that. Just wanted to share that with you. Then, and also to kind of talk about this deck here and why it's just not working for me. Spirit world, I can get behind the spirit world as, and the ancestors too. The elements, certainly. Connecting with the cosmic witch, yes, I can handle that. Healing the witch wound, the moon. The astral plane, kind of getting a little out there. I'm not sure about that and how it fits necessarily, although I've gotten that card and I was able to make it work. But when it comes to the universe, yes, I can handle that. Raise your frequency is kind of getting sort of Starchild, sort of, I don't know. The imagery doesn't work for me. I understand raising your frequency. So the message of the card I can get with. I just don't like how the image doesn't fit with the vibe of this deck. The council, the meaning of it may work for me, but the whole thing, I'm just taking it out. I think that it was just those 2 or 3. There might be 3 cards in here that I wasn't vibing with. I mean, not just not vibing with, but really detesting. And rather than let these archangels is kind of pushing it for me. Ascended masters, I can handle the idea of connecting with ascended masters. I just don't like the imagery. So that card is kind of pushing it for me. I might not be able to keep that in there just because it doesn't vibe with this whole deck. Angels, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to keep those ones in there and just remove the council and the other dimensional beings. I'm going to just remove those for right now. And a couple of those other ones might wind up on their last legs with me too. But so there's that. And I showed you Feral Psychic. Let's do our own card of the day reading for the collective here. The Oak Ash and Thorn. Such a beautiful deck. This is, I'm sure you've seen it. Three Trees Tarot. This is from 2021. So this might have been like their first one. I got it for Christmas for my wife, and it was really the one thing I wanted. She got it for me, and so I'm really so grateful to have it. I just think it's such a beautiful deck. All right, Spirit, what do we have for a message for the collective today? I feel like these decks are going to work well together. The guidebook in here has some really big spreads here, like this 9-card spread. Then it has this 12 houses spread, 3-card layout for the soul. This has the mirror, the shadow, and the fruition. So deeper, previously hidden keys for the soul's success is in the shadow. The mirror is the portal, the opening and foundation for the reading. Basic underlying reality of what the soul is processing spiritually. Reflects the present moment. This is your message for right now. The second card is about the challenges, and then the third card is about the divine promise. So let's use that spread for these cards. What is our mirror as a collective spirit? What is the shadow, the challenge? The Empress. And what is the fruition, which represents the promise? Four of Pentacles. Okay, so what do we have here? Where we're at right now, we're in the midst of a Wheel of Fortune year. We're in the midst of a moment where changes are happening, and they're happening quickly. Karmic cycles are coming to a close. Deeper shadow, the desire to take good care of ourselves, to be productive, to be creative. This is our deeper challenge. In this time of fast-moving change and the ending of karmic cycles and the beginning of new things, we're still challenged to being productive, to being creative, to taking really good care of ourselves in the midst of all of this. And the promise will be stability, security, safety, and peace. Let's get an oracle card to round that out. Now, I don't promise to know or understand this oracle card because, as I said, this book is very thick, and I am you can see by my bookmark that I'm not very far into it. So this is a Blue Angel. It's a Blue Angel deck. So production value is high. The card stock is, these are really large oracle cards, which is nice because there's a lot to look at. They are very beautiful. The artwork is gorgeous, but they are challenging to shuffle. What do we get for our oracle of the day here to go along with this message? We get chalk. You are being called to connect with nourishing forces. To accomplish this, you will need to step beyond ordinary reality for a time. Sacred, meaningful retreat will vary in duration depending on the needs of your soul. Do not be afraid to turn away from the outer world to commune with spirit, to make peace with yourself and your journey. In doing so, you can claim the benefits, blessings, and bounties that are rightfully yours. Utilize them to heal yourself and strengthen the quality of your offering to the world. Your offering to the world. Your path and your purpose shall become even more powerfully aligned with your heart. White as a color vibration is believed to hold the properties of purity and higher order, which facilitates realignment to natural spiritual organization of life, and in doing so promotes healing. White chalk holds particular sacred properties. It is created from various combinations of clay, shell, ash, sometimes salt. It is utilized in rituals, ceremonies, and customs amongst a diverse array of West African cultural groups. It serves as a purpose of internal medicine and as a ritual, marking chalk to represent certain symbolic meanings, such as an initiation or the presence of spiritual energies. It also functions as a sacred substance for offerings to ancestors. So you can see in this book, on the card of chalk, we go from page 104 to 109. So it gives you a healing process. It gives you some history of the meaning of the card and divination recommendation to tell you, what this card is trying to explain to you. And then it gives you like a healing process. So the Oracle of Chalk is a call to disengage from everyday reality for a time, to commune with the spiritual world, to request blessings, and to dig around in the recesses of your ancestral inheritance to find what can bless and support you. If you have had karmic burdens of ancestral wounding to heal, you may have to dive deep and travel beneath the wounding to unveil the secret blessings. And it talks about utilizing the lunar cycle to help you in this process. Connect with nourishing forces, strengthening the quality of your offering to the world. That does align with both of these cards right here. So that is our reading of the day. Let me get a keyword to finish that one up. Get the word mood. Sometimes our mood can kind of play into our ability to utilize the messages that we hear. Our mood might be contributing to this Wheel of Fortune sensation of, there's a lot changing, a lot happening, a lot on our minds. And that might be, the mood piece might be playing into that. So, be mindful of how your mood is factoring into your ability to care for yourself and your contribution to the world, and your ability to be creative, like this Empress here, because that creativity is going to lead to that sense of stability and structure and safety that you desire. In a world that is constantly changing, having a little corner of stability and safety is so grounding. So that is the reading for the day from our cards. I am also wanting to look at the Dark Moon Oracle. Before we do that, this is going to be a long video. I told you at the beginning it would be long. Before we do that, I do want to show you these cards because they are absolutely gorgeous. A little music on this too, as I flip through these. that deck. You can see each of these cards has a lot of symbolism in them, from the fruits and flowers, from the different symbols, the animal life, and then obviously the rituals and the myths that go along with them that we'll be learning more about as I read through each of these cards on the guidebook. So there's that. Then the Dark Moon Oracle. We'll do a quick flip through on this one as well. These are the card backs. I am going to edge these, I think. So very pretty. I like that a lot. And then we have the guidebook. On each of the cards, it will tell you the energy of the moon phase. Each of the card matches the energy of that particular moon phase. It doesn't necessarily mean that the moon is in that phase. And then an explanation, and when this card comes up, and additional meanings for this card are listed as well. It'll give you advice for how to handle whatever that energy is. So this is still in order, so we will go the other direction. So begin again. Ground yourself. Inner critic. Unveil. Let's go down a little bit. Resistance. Transition. Torn. Introspection. Bypassing. Responsibility. Past trauma. Illusion. Recklessness. Stubbornness. Here we are. Here's a depiction of me. Here I am. Scattered. Also me. Limerence. Go. Overcritical. Find balance. Seek calm. Feel the truth. Lots ambition. Break free. Self-sacrifice. We get into some of the goddesses and witches. The Morrigan. Lilith. Tanji. Black Madonna. Medusa. Persephone. Horus. Butter Kali. I just call her Kali. Mate. Hera. Let me see. Nephthys. Probably mispronouncing that one. Then we have some lighter cards. Blessings. Communication. Revelations. Reward. Honor Yourself, Ease, Alchemy, Adventure, Achievement, Agency, Reconnection. I love this one. And Dream Weaving. So, beautiful deck. I think it's going to be great for shadow work. And I have been working with it a little bit, just looking through the guidebook, and I haven't taken it out of order or shuffled it or anything yet, but have been drawing individual cards to go in some of the readings. And I think it does have some spreads in here. If I remember correctly, she usually includes a few spreads. Pretty simple. Healing spread, beginning spread, the self-acceptance spread. They're all 3-card spreads, so pretty simple. Anyway, this is my favorite Yasmin Boland one. The guidebook is much better written than any of her other guidebooks, and so I am hoping that my initial reactions will continue to play out. I'll let you know. Now I am getting about to the end of my time that I have this morning, and so I am going to end this now, even though I do have a few other decks that I wanted to show you, but we'll stop there. And I enjoyed this coffee and cards time. Thank you for spending time with me, and I hope you have a wonderful day ahead, a beautiful weekend. May it last a very long time, and that you get all of the juice out of this weekend that you can squeeze before the work week starts again next week. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.